Hello everyone.
Hello.
Hi.
Welcome to the Truly Show, Jennifer and Marie-Anne. If you would like to introduce yourselves.
Marie-Anne, after you.
Okay. Hello, my name is Marie-Anne Lecoeur, and on YouTube I'm known as Marie-Anne Lecoeur, the French chic expert. I am French, as you may be hearing in my accent. I live in France, and my specialty is about teaching French chic style. And I have written a couple of bestsellers on Amazon about style, and I'm also the creator of the French Chic Academy. And I'm happy to be here today, chatting to you all.
We're happy to have you, Marie-Anne. Thank you.
Thank you.
And I'm Jennifer Scott, and I am the YouTuber at the Daily Connoisseur. And I've known Marie-Anne for 10 years, so this is such a treat for me. And I'm also an author as well, and I'm the author of the Madame Chic series and Connoisseur Kids. So it's an honor to be here.
It's an honor to have you, Jennifer, and both of you. This is the second Truly show that we're doing. It's to represent and basically a way for Rodrigo and myself to talk about the Truly app, which we hope your followers will be able to reach both of you on the platform and have it be another way to get all the advantages of both of your wisdom. So I'm going to start this with asking Jennifer, how did you've had your YouTube video for a while now. How many years has it been?
10 years on YouTube.
Okay, and could you just walk us through how that happened? I mean, 10 years ago, YouTube was not the platform that it is now. So what made you even consider YouTube at that time?
Well, I had written a book, and my first book, Lessons from Madame Chic, and I had a blog at the time, but I knew that I needed to market my book somehow. So initially, I had self-published my book, and I knew if I just needed an audience. So I decided to start YouTube about 6 months before I published my book as a way to market it. And it worked out really well. And so it was just great creating that audience, and it flowed naturally with my blog. And so the real reason why I started my YouTube channel was to market my books.
And did that sort of become its own thing? Because if initially you were using it really to support this main thing, which are your books, how did you manage? Like at some point, it must have become quite demanding, and it's its own job as your books were, I imagine.
Yes, so this sounds ridiculous, but I've only just now considered myself to be a YouTuber recently, like maybe probably 2 or 3 years ago. I mean, up until then, it was, YouTube has changed so much, but it was it wasn't recreational for me because I was very serious about it. I've been consistent for 10 years, consistently posting, but I always just considered myself to be a writer who had a YouTube channel. But now I consider myself equally a YouTuber and a writer because it is its own art and its own career as well. So I really only started really considering it and taking it very seriously a few years ago. So yes.
Yeah, and I imagine it also presented to you a different way to share the knowledge that you have to share. So it's a whole other basically ball game compared to writing your books.
Yes, it's very different, and but it's a wonderful. I'm sure Marie-Anne feels the same way. It's a wonderful creative outlet to draft a video, to figure out what you're going to talk about, how you're going to film it, what the thumbnail is going to be, what the editing will be like, and so it's totally different than writing a book, and it's very rewarding too. It's very fun.
Marie-Anne, if you could tell us, like, how did you start why did you start your YouTube? Was there like a moment where you were like, I need to start a YouTube channel?
Well, it's funny enough, it's about, I think, the same time as Jennifer, but it was not in order to market my book, because then I had no clue about marketing. completely brand new. I had written a book, and I had absolutely no expectations of the book. And But I thought, okay, let's do a few videos about style on the YouTube channel. And as Jennifer rightly said, 10 years ago, YouTube was not what it is now. It's a huge machine, huge beast now. It's got a life of its own. It was not like that in the old days. Everything was much simpler. Um, and Yes, I know that Jennifer was very, um, used to publish, I think, 3 videos per week, and you were very, you continued. Whereas me, it was more of a, here I am, I'm going to do a video today, and I published it, and maybe I didn't publish for another few weeks. So it was very much like that. Um, and a little bit of a jack in the box in that respect. But in 2016, I started creating courses, and then things started to pick up momentum, and I created more videos, and now really it's about 3 videos per week. And it will
And these courses that they're online courses or in-person courses?
Online courses, and I've also do live courses as well.
Okay, so then the YouTube became a great way to obviously promote the online courses for your followers.
It's funny because I don't know. I've got something with marketing, I suppose. I was quite happy mentioning, of the brands and other people, but mine, I've always been kind of, should I mention my own things? Probably a little bit shy and retiring in that respect, but no longer now. A little bit more confident in regarding that. But yes, it has been a really big um, social media that has grown. I started as well in Facebook, but now Facebook has changed as well. It is a little bit more difficult to reach people, and maybe Jennifer has noticed as well that our posts and our videos are not seen by many people now on Facebook. So YouTube, in that way, enables us to really reach out to many more people. Certainly.
And Jennifer, how do you feel the years in YouTube, like how you evolved your content? So obviously, first being on YouTube had already demanded you to somewhat adapt to the fact that this is audiovisual and not like written word. But then it also, I'm sure, gave you opportunities to sort of go somewhat other directions because of the nature of the medium. And what was that like?
Mm-hmm. And again, it's so funny because I look back at the 10 years and so much of it is a blur. I mean, honestly, I only started being intentional about things until recently. If I had an idea, I would sit down and talk in front of the camera. But for several years, I mean, I never did anything like B-roll. Do you know what I mean? For like the first, I don't know, 7 years of my channel, I just would sit down and talk to the camera, but that was enough for people, I guess, back then. But now, as things change, people expect a lot more from your videos. Marie-Anne probably sees this too. They expect movie-like quality because you're competing. It's true. You're competing with all these people. And if they click on a video and it's just a very basic video, it's like people's attention spans.
But do they say, are you saying that they actually, your followers are saying, hey, can you make a much more sophisticated?
No one has ever said, no one's ever said that to me. That's my internal criticism where I'm like thinking, okay, I need to up my game now. And I think the reason why I didn't do it before, because it is so much work. Creating a single video is so much work. It's hours and hours and hours. And back when I was doing my own editing, that was just even crazier, so, but I decided, I made that commitment to do it, and now I'm doing it, and it's definitely worthwhile.
So technically speaking, it's all savvy now and up to date, right, with what everybody else on average is doing. And content wise, like, have you veered away from what the initial Madame Chic books, because I know that I'm sure there are more to come, were about? And if so, like where did you go with that?
No, funny enough, I'm still talking about the same things I've been talking about for 10 years, and it never gets old, apparently. I mean, it doesn't get old to me, but in the Madame Chic books, the first book is called Lessons from Madame Chic, 20 Stylish Secrets I Learned While Living in Paris. And each chapter is a secret that I learned. And each chapter in itself is full of content that I could just probably live off for the rest of my life, because it's just so rich. It's a lifestyle, it's a philosophy. So I'm still, nothing's really changed there. And I still, have the same uh, content. I mean, certain things changed, and I might go in a different direction. Like I've been talking about intermittent fasting on my channel,
Yeah,
which is not talked about in the Madame Chic books directly, but
yeah,
indirectly it is talked about in it. And I know Marie-Anne knows about all this, but about the no snacking and not depriving yourself of anything. So it's like once I found that, I was like, wow, this fits exactly perfectly in the Madame Chic philosophy.
yeah,
So
because exactly, it's a philosophy. Yeah,
yeah,
exactly.
so
And Marie-Anne, what was that like for you? Like as you were developing your YouTube channel, did you feel that there were opportunities for the initial subject, the original subject, to go deeper into certain different directions?
Well, it has definitely changed, especially the style. As Jennifer mentioned, in the beginning, we could just sit down and chat or show something, make a little demo. But now it's like almost a Hollywood production. You need B-rolls and your own B-roll. Sometimes it's not even good enough. You need to get some other B-roll from somewhere else. So it is a big production. The videos,
Mhm.
they've got it's really.
And the both of you produce 3 videos per week. So how are you doing this? How is this possible? Do you have people helping you?
yeah, yes, I do 2 videos on my main channel, and I do 1 private video for my private members. So I do 3 videos a week, and I do have help. I have an editor who edits my videos, and then I also have someone who does my thumbnails now. And
Hmm.
I have a website team. I have a lot of. I was saying this to my husband the other day. I was like, I have a lot of employees.
You have a production company,
I
right?
do. It is a mini production company.
Yeah. And Marianne, I know your husband helps.
Yes, yes, he's been helping me for um 18 months now, the editing, because I just couldn't do it all. As Jennifer said, you need other people. You need a team. We need people. So you know, so he's helping me with the editing, so that
Yeah.
it frees me for the creative side, because really we can't do it all in the beginning so very well. We can do it all, and then you end up working a 14-day week, and you end up a little bit tired, and your family doesn't see you. Mom, you're always working, so so we need a
Yeah.
little bit of help, because as Jennifer said, I mean, a video excuse me, a video creation, I mean, it takes like 2 or 3 days on some videos. I remember once, oh my gosh, about outfit creation. And my husband remembers it as well. I said, oh, I'm going to do a video on, I said, a number of outfits. He said, okay. And we ended up doing 72 outfits. Well, I tell you, never again. It was hours of shooting. It was hours of changing from outfit to outfit. And what did I forget? What did I not forget? Where's that one again? Where are my shoes? And my husband editing the video. I mean, it took him a few days. The studio was full of clothes everywhere. It was just mayhem. It was a nightmare. And I said never again. And yes, so my husband. But you have to be careful what kind of video you're going to do, going to choose. And sometimes you get comments under them, the
Yeah.
the videos, and I read all the comments and I reply to everything. Um, and itself, it's a lot of work. And sometimes people say, oh, you didn't mention this and you didn't mention that, and could you do a video on this? I'm thinking,
It's so demanding.
But I don't think, most viewers, I don't think they realize that how much work is in a
Goes in.
video, because
Yeah,
most people on YouTube, the viewers don't do their own videos. They don't know what it's like, but it's a lot of work. And I put my hat off, to every single YouTuber out there, because whether it's a form of vlogging or whatever else they do, or Hollywood productions, but it's wow,
a lot of work. And it's interesting you brought up the comments, because actually that was going to be my next question. Once you have done all this production aspects of the video, when do you set aside the time to respond to your followers, right? So I'm sure you also have to include that in the entire production schedule. And what has been the average? Was this something manageable that you could predict? Okay, one video usually takes me about an hour to focus on comments and respond, or is this something that you've just had to sort of bear with it because it might be a lot of comments or not? Like, was this something controllable?
um, no, I can't. I know it's difficult to control the comments, but when I started, having more work before my husband started working with me, I said, okay, 24 hours, 48 hours, I will answer the comments on that video, and then I move on to the next one. But now that he's editing, that has freed a lot of hours away from me. Then I can, concentrate on the comments. But people who have large um, YouTube channel, I don't think it is possible for them to answer the comments, because some comments on some videos, you've got thousands and thousands of comments. It's hours and hours and hours of replying all this.
Yeah. So you do your best. And Jennifer, what has been your approach to it?
So for the year 2020, you know how YouTube sends you your metrics at the end of the year, and it told me that I received 32,000 comments on my channel, and that I had replied to 10,000.
Oh,
And I was like, what? Just the whole thing. I was like, really? I can't even believe I replied to 10,000 comments. That's a lot. But, I was kind of doing the math. I'm like, yes, this sounds about right, actually. And that was back in 2020, and I'm getting more now, So the thing is that no, I don't. If I put out a video, generally, I'm there for the beginning of it. Like for the first few hours, I will try to heart as many as I can and comment back to people, but then I can't. I mean, it's just, it's too much,
yeah.
because people don't realize it's not only comments on YouTube, but I get comments on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, direct message on Instagram. Oh my gosh. And I feel so bad because there's that. And then I have a private contact form on my author website, and every day I get tons of emails and comments. And it's, for me, I'm a person who gets overwhelmed easily, and I'm very overwhelmed by it. And because I feel bad that I'm not replying, that's why. Mm-hmm. And even I had somebody this week on Instagram say, I have been following you for 10 years, and I am so disappointed that you never replied to my question. And I wrote back, and I was like, I have 4 kids. Because sometimes, you try to be polite and not reply, but I was like, I'm sorry, but I have 4 children and I get hundreds of questions every day. I can't get back to everybody, it's like, it's impossible. So anyway, that's what, but I do try. I try in the first few hours to reply to them. But if someone's going to watch the video 5 days later and leave a comment, I probably am not going to reply to them.
It almost sounds like you have to have this as a disclaimer, right? In your comment section under each video.
Yes, on my author website, I say, due to the large volume of emails received, I'm not able to respond to them all. But yes, there are some people that take it very personally, but
most people have the common sense.
Yes.
When I find myself really, really just, I love all your videos, but the videos that go deeper into this sort of gets philosophical that the both of you do. I really, really appreciate it. And I feel that, the paradox of talking about self-presentation, um, lying in your inner sense of yourself. I think this is such valuable wisdom that you share with your followers. What has the response been like when you do delve into that subject in your videos, Marie-Anne?
That is, at the moment, I've started doing more about elegance and um, the inner sense of being, if you like. And I like to teach the style as well on the, you have the transformation on the inside out and the outside in. So, it works both ways, whichever ways you start working on. For instance, you need more confidence. So if you work on your confidence, then you will be able to create better outfits, or outfits you wouldn't have gone for before. You would start pushing the envelope, um, if you like. And once you start
Mhm.
pushing the envelope and being more confident with your style, then it gives you confidence in yourself. You feel more confident and, oh yes, I can wear this, and yes, I look good now, and I'm getting more compliments, and I can do
Mhm.
this and I can do that. So it's very much an empowerment, and it works. I like how it works from the inside out and outside in, the inner and the
Mhm.
outer, if you like.
And do your followers get like they appreciate it when you go a little bit deeper, such as in this manner? Do you get like positive response, or are they more like, no, I want to know if the red bag goes with the brown shoes?
That is funny because you mentioned that, because you would think that it would be very well received, but I find that on outfits it depends a lot. But if I talk about that kind of inner work, I won't have as many comments, for instance. But if I show something, more about outfits, completely different videos, I will get more questions and comments about, yes, the little red bag, or the
Mhm.
the turtlenecks.
Mhm.
So it's maybe it is received differently, and maybe it is received by different people as well. Although
Exactly.
we have our regulars that we notice. We know the names
Yeah.
of our irregulars. Um,
And then you have the other types. And Jennifer, what has been your experience? Because you also have that balance of content.
Mm-hmm. It's funny. It's the opposite for me. I would say. I'd say when I do those videos where I kind of go inner and talk about an inner transformation, those are probably more popular for me, and I get more of a response. But I think, yeah, it's funny how that is. But I'm not as good as Marie-Anne at the outfits and sharing the matches and things like that. She's truly the queen in that area, so I can see why people are always, wanting that from her. So, yeah, so I do think there's a real hunger for that, I find, in my audience, because we're all going through, we're all different, but we're all similar, and that we're going through, as women, going through a lot of the same issues. And so it's nice to be able to talk about that together. And so I love those types of videos.
And yeah, I do too. And in terms of the age group, if you're able to tell from the comments you get from your followers, has there been a distinction between when you do these more inner work type content, the kind of comments you get are from a different demographic? Is there a way for you to tell at all?
There probably is a way for me to tell. My audience really varies. I mean, I get messages from women who are 97 sometimes, and I get messages from teenagers too. So, but I think the majority are in that kind of 20s to 60s kind of range. I mean, it's a big range, but yes.
Yeah, and I thought that what would be so interesting in being able to interview the both of you is to go into the cultural differences of not just self-presentation as women, but like the whole approach, right, to self-care. And obviously, we put the French I mean, the Madame Chic books were based on your year in Paris, right? So everybody in the world obviously puts the French style on a pedestal. And Marie-Anne, could you just give us, if it's possible, to make it a succinct explanation of why that is?
It's funny because if we speak, obviously I'm in France, so I'm surrounded by French people, but I have asked this question to many French women, and they are all puzzled. For me, I'm in it now, so I'm not puzzled by it. But women who don't know about that, they're puzzled. The French women, and they say, "Why?" They wonder why do you know other countries or people from other countries view the French style as really up there, and yeah, they're very surprised because that's something that they've always known they do, and to them it's nothing special for them
Mm-hmm.
because we're just used to it. We're
Yeah,
brought.
you're in if you're in the water, you don't know it's water, and that's why Jennifer's books were essentially translating that, right? I mean, if you can talk about that, the book, or even the foundation of that book, which was your first year in Paris.
Mm-hmm. Yes, and I think what Marie-Anne said there is key. The fact that they just are, it just is. And with the French style, that's what makes it so alluring. They're not trying too hard. They're not. It's authentic, And I think people see that. So with my book, as a junior in college, I went to USC. I studied abroad in Paris, and I lived with a French family. So the book is about really me as an American, as a fish out of water, really living with a very traditional, formal Parisian family, and what I learned from them, basically. And it's kind of like the bridge to American culture, like because a lot of some of the reviews were saying, there's a lot of self-deprecating humor in the book, and it's true. And I always tell people, I'm not Madame Chic. Marie-Anne is Madame Chic. I am not Madame Chic. I am Jennifer, and I'm learning right along with you. Basically, is kind of the premise with that. So yes, but I noticed, obviously so many differences with how French women and American women are.
Well, I'm curious to your individual perspective on that. Obviously, going there as a young woman, it was all different. But now, after it's been years, what can you say about that? Like in terms of American culture and French culture, and specifically why French women are this way, and why American women, and I'm sure there are positive aspects as well in terms of how American culture cultivates its women to present itself. So I'm just curious what your impressions are now today on all that.
Well, yes, absolutely. There's, and I always say it's never putting down American women. We have our own style and uniqueness and braveness that is not found anywhere else in the world, and I think that that's great. So, style has changed. We're going to England this summer, so I'm hoping I can go back to France as well. But it would be fun to go back there now as an adult and see, because I think when you go as a young impressionable woman like I was back then, that was the perfect time for me to go, because it was like my eyes were just so open to it all. But I think as I've grown up, I appreciate both. I appreciate both the American style and the French style. What I think American women need help with in particular is expressing that style and not being afraid, as Marie-Anne was mentioning, to wear certain things. And I think people, they always say to me, I haven't worn a dress in 10 years. I really want to wear a dress, but I feel really uncomfortable. I'm thinking, this is your one life. If you want to wear a dress, like, what are you worried about? And so I want people to feel comfortable and just seize the day and wear that dress. I think a lot of women in America in particular get stuck in the rut of wearing exercise clothes every day. and not expressing their true style through it. And I think it's a real shame because I always say, how do you want your family to remember you when they look back at you? They will remember you, and they
Yeah,
will remember
not
you
in
visually.
sweatpants.
Yeah, they'll remember you visually. And if you only dress up once or twice a year, they'll remember that, and how are you expressing your style? It's a very important aspect of the self. So,
Mhm. Well, and that's why I think your videos are so valuable to your followers, because one thing I'm not from the US myself, and one thing that I notice is that I think the reason why there would be a woman saying, "Oh, I've been wanting to wear a dress and I haven't," there's actually just so little guidance within American culture in terms of how to put yourself together as a woman, and somehow the fundamental American culture of like freedom and anything goes. You should do whatever you want. It also loosened it to this lack of structure of, but how do I do that? So it seems like the result of this, like, oh, you can wear whatever you want, you can do whatever you want, you can be whatever you want, which is so quintessentially American. It translates to, if you're a 16-year-old girl, it's like, I don't know what what I should, and that I think is French culture really does well, is that the rules, right, and the structure, and going back uh, so deep into history. And so I think, Marianne, that's why French women aren't even aware, because there's just so much legacy of how to wear, what to wear, when to wear, and I think that's what Jennifer did really well in her books, is that she just brought it to the US and explains it to all these women who are like, I don't even know where to begin, right?
Yeah, it was for me. Okay.
Go ahead.
Yes, I think the good thing with Jennifer and her book is that because Jennifer is an American, I think she was the bridge, if you like, between the French the French culture, the French style, and she was the bridge, and between the French and the Americans, and she could translate, if you like, uh, to to the audience, to the American, and explain in a way, because she has lived it, explain the differences, and she was able to bring it to her American audience, which is something that a French person, obviously I would take me as an example, is that is more difficult for me because I am French, so I am not a bridge. But Jennifer, I think, as the bridge, if you like, if you don't mind me, mind me
Yeah,
saying that, you were
you need
able
an
to
interpreter.
view it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
somebody who interprets. How comfortable are you both? I know that Jennifer mentions her children, but how comfortable are you both talking more about your personal aspects? So I know, like, I've never seen your kids on your video, Jennifer, but I have seen your husband. So what has that been like for the both of you? Did you have a very conscious boundary as to, okay, I'm not going to show or talk about certain aspects of my personal life?
yes, I made the decision back when I started blogging in 2008. I didn't have my first child till 2010, but when I had her in 2010, I made the decision to keep my family private. I've never shared the names of my children on my channel. And they've probably been on the channel for like a total of 30 seconds or so, like over the past 10 years, or maybe a few minutes. Every now and then you'll see one of them in a video, but certainly they're not the focus. And that's a conscious decision. I decided to keep their childhood private. And so I don't share their names, and I try not to share too much personal information about them because I think that's their right to have privacy as children. So, and then my husband has been in a few videos as well, and people love when he's in the videos. He's not that, he doesn't like being in the videos. Do you know what I mean? So it's like, I just don't want to. This is my thing. That's why I always say to people, this is my thing. And I don't want my family worried about me, like putting a camera in their face for, like thousands of people to see. So I'm very, very conscious about people's privacy. And so, it is a conscious choice for me, and I'm very, yeah, it's important for me to protect their privacy.
And Marie-Anne, how about yourself? Has your husband ever been on the other side of the camera?
No, 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 he hasn't. And talking about privacy thing, in France we have very strict privacy laws. So, for instance, it's going to be difficult, and I would like sometime to go into a shop and being able um, to film, what's going on, or even outside. But it's very difficult in France unless you actually, ask for their permission. But outside, it's a bit difficult as well. So that aside, French people are quite private people. It takes us long to make friends, to invite people to our home, and certainly it appears a little bit strange to French people, especially French people who are not used to YouTube channel or making their own videos, that you can actually show your home on video or show your family and sometimes there's some events in my life, a birthday of a child's birthday or a wedding anniversary. I'm not going to mention it. I'm not going to take photos,
Right.
because it's something that I want to keep private, because it's dear to us, dear to me. Now and again, I can share photos, or sometimes social media. I have photo with me and family, my children, but it's not something I really want to, you know,
Yeah, it's
just like Jennifer, I was still,
yeah.
I still want my life kind of private.
I have to say, have, having said all that, I'm curious about you both. So I know that Jennifer is married and has 4 children. Marie-Anne, I know you're married. I don't know if you have. I would just love to know a bit, a bit more background that I think your followers would appreciate as well. So for example, Marie-Anne, were you a model? Because I saw like this picture of yourself in the studio. Uh, what did you do before the YouTube live?
Oh, well, I was never a model. No, 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 no. No, never a model. I would have liked to have been a model back in my younger days, but it never happened. But I didn't try to be a model. But right before I wrote my book, when I was working full time in an office, I was in trademarks in Jersey. So that was me, and I have two boys, 2 sons, and a stepson.
Mhm. And Jennifer, you have lived in California this whole time. Did you? I know that your husband is English, so you guys have been living in California throughout.
We've lived here. I mean, I grew up here, so this is where I've always lived. But we have a flat in England, and kind of before the pandemic, we were thinking, oh, we're going to spend half the year there and half the year here and everything. But that kind of changed. But we do have a place in England as well, so we'll spend more time there as things start opening up and everything.
And you always wanted to be a writer. Like when you were in USC, that was what you were studying.
Well, no, I wanted to be a writer when I was a child, all the way up until I became a teenager. And then I started doing theater in high school. And then I changed directions and I was a theater major at USC. So I wanted to do theater and that. And so I did pursue that in my 20s. And I worked for a theater troupe in Los Angeles. And it was great. It's called Shakespeare and Company. And then I also did things like commercials, music videos. I was in the Screen Actors Guild and all that stuff. So I did that. But then in my late 20s, I just started, I feel like when someone's really meant to do something, it's going to happen, but you do have to pay attention to your intuition. So I thought, I really started getting strong feelings again that I wanted to return to writing. And it's funny because I didn't take any writing classes at USC, nothing, no creative writing or anything like that. I wish I would have. But when I was 27 or 28, 27, I think, I decided to take a writing class for the first time in my life. And that changed my life. So then ever since then, I've been writing every day.
That's
So
wonderful.
it's great to return to that dream.
That's wonderful. Yeah. So when you're preparing for these YouTube videos, also in terms of planning the content, that comes into play, right? Like you're literally, it's like writing a script, I imagine. Yeah.
Yes, I start out with my calendar excuse me. I start off with my calendar and then I map everything. And I'm very, I don't know how Marie-Anne is with this. I'd be interested to hear. But I'm very organized with my scheduling now, now that I'm serious about it. And before I would just be like, oh, what do I want to film today? And I turn on the camera. But now I schedule things like 2 months in advance. I mean, and I know what I'm doing on what day, and everything is super organized. And so I will write out a script. I send it to my editor, like the whole thing. And then it's very organized. That's the only way I can do it now.
Marie-Anne, how about yourself?
Oh no, it's not me. I think it's we're in Antipolis. I'm not organized. No, I'm not an organized person like this. And my husband will tell me, you need to organize yourself on video. That's.
But how do you manage 3 videos a week? 3 videos a week, and you're doing it spontaneously.
Yeah, sometimes I'm in the bath and say, oh. I'm going to do this video today.
I get ideas in the bath too. That's funny.
I get the best ideas
or while I'm
in the
doing
bath.
the dishes.
Something to do with water. Apparently, it's really it helps the ideas. And I've got hundreds of ideas a day, and the ideas flow through me like I've always got so many ideas, and I think that's my character. I'm like that a little bit woohoo, not airy fairy, but I am not the best organized person. That is for sure. And I think Jennifer, I put my hat off to you, and I would like to be organized, but it's not in me. It's not in me. I just no.
But that's also the beauty of these YouTube videos is that, and there was one video of yours, Jennifer, where you were talking about individuality, and like everybody has their own style, and that's why I feel like it's such a great medium of self-expression, because even though you can be talking about the same things, but it's how you talk about it and how you deliver that message that is part of why people watch it, and I was telling Marie-Anne how her video about the turtlenecks was just so charming, because she clearly was having fun with, maybe you could fold it, maybe put the handkerchief, and just the you were like so bubbly about it, that it's the style of the delivery, as well as the fact that you're talking about how to wear a turtleneck, that I feel is valuable about everybody's different ways. And Jennifer, I knew you were extremely organized because you had a video about your morning routine, and as soon as you said, when I wake up at 5:15, I just thought, I can't watch the rest of this video, because the first rule is not something I can follow. And it was just extremely scheduled, and I thought, this is a real 2022 goal. Like some future date I will be able to do this. Rodrigo, what have you, any comments so far about our ladies chat here?
I have tremendous respect for the work that both of you do. Like, I think that you need both like a creative side and the executional side to be able to achieve what you both have. And I'm curious, like how do you do this, like every day, like the process to go from like a blank to an idea to like an actual published video? I'd love to hear about that.
Marie-Anne, do you want to go?
Yes. Well, actually, Jennifer and I, we are creators, and I think the YouTubers are creators, or even any if you're a writer, you're a creator, or and I just have to look around my studio, or open a drawer or open the closet, and I would have ideas throwing to me. Oh, I could do a video on that. I could do videos. Oh, this video is, and you have so many ideas, just not enough hours in a day to obviously create videos on that. But that's the. I mean, we have so many ideas for videos, and then we just select, okay, these can't be done because they're going to take a couple of days to shoot. But and then we just select which video, and afterwards we we get down to it. Only recently I started scripting my videos, but before they were very much off the cuff, and then they became a little bit more organized, so they became bullet points. But now my husband insists I need to script, so I've been scripting for a little while. But it has been very difficult for me because I don't find it really natural for me. I'm very much off the cuff kind of person, and I like to joke in between, and so scripting has been a little bit difficult. But that's it for me on my side.
I love that your husband is like the voice of reason on your channel behind the scenes for you. So I agree. People always say, how do you come up with content ideas? Do you ever run out of ideas? And I have never run out of an idea. It's never been a struggle for me to try to figure out what to do. The struggle is finding the time to do it all, or that. So it's, again, for me, it's the same thing where I keep a journal with an ongoing list of ideas that I want to explore. And the journal, it just never depletes. It's just constantly being written in. So if there is a moment where I'm like, wow, what should I do? I just open up the journal and I pick one of those things and I'll do a video on it. But like I said, I have content scheduled right now, like until mid-February. I'm going to go on a YouTube break, like after this next week for Christmas and New Year's, and then I'll come back. But I have all my content already planned out. And so for me, it's just about, okay, just the next steps, executing everything and just doing it, basically.
Yeah, that's something, Rod. I'm sure you have some comments on that for Truly.
It's super impressive. Like I find this super impressive to be able to do this on a consistent basis. Congratulations to both of you.
I really believe that if you both were on Truly app, your followers would be gleefully reaching out to you. The challenge I think you would need to deal with is just managing in the same way that you're managing the comments on YouTube, right? Like how would you make sure that they are just feeling like, okay, you can answer everyone. And Rod, I don't know if you want to add to what would it be like for their followers to have them on the app.
I mean, I think it's a wonderful interaction because it gets personal, and like and then there is like the monetary aspect, but that's more of like just showing intent, of showing like appreciation, and to be on the other side responding and having someone that like deeply cares, and it's like giving some sort of reward for that. Like I think it feels very very good, and you don't have to like try to filter, because that takes a lot of time to filter what's really important for you and your channel and what's just spam sometimes on your email.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And one of the examples we also talked about is providing the sense, like, for example, if you could reach out to these people on LinkedIn for just a very specific question and just get their attention. It's a similar premise where on Truly we really want to be able to facilitate that, because if I had a question for you, Marie-Anne, I could potentially email you because we know each other. But if I were just watching your YouTube videos, everybody has, in general, this sense of like, oh, she's kind of out of reach because she's this YouTuber, and I'm going on this big dinner party or event, and actually I would love her opinion on whether I should wear this or this, and with that or that. How would I even get that a response from her? So this is where Truly would beautifully facilitate, is our hope.
And we've heard, like, we've been hearing actually like two things from YouTubers that we've been talking with. One is the like the email that like you have on the info that that people can access the public email. On YouTube, they get like a lot of messages. Most people that we talk with can't keep up. So what the idea that they came up was to put the like an auto response to that email with the truly link. So when people like really want to reach out to you, like they have a way. Uh, yeah.
Yeah, just to be able to filter. We didn't talk about that. Do you have that challenge of just knowing which emails are not what is the term? Um, the random emails, spam. Yeah. Do you have that challenge?
Yeah, I get so many emails. It's unbelievable. I don't know if Marie-Anne has that too, but just hundreds and hundreds a day. Just so many emails. So it is hard to filter them. And sometimes I miss important ones.
Yeah. So do you like you read? You have to read through them in order to be able to decipher which is the one that was worth reading, or how do you manage that?
Well, with my author website team, I hire people to kind of go through things. So I do that, but also there's yes, so I have that. I have some filters set up, but sometimes even important ones get through the cracks. So,
Marie-Anne, do you read every single email you get? Yes.
Yes, I don't get hundreds a day, but I get many a day, and it's especially when you get this really long email, and I try to read through, and sometimes I am quite concise when I reply to emails, and sometimes I feel when I've received a long email, I'm sometimes too concise in 2 or 3 sentences, and I think it could be seen as maybe I have not read the whole email, or sometimes I find it difficult. What do you say? Sometimes it's some emails that can be emotional as well, and it's sometimes I'm spending sometimes some a good amount of time wondering what should I say
How
in
should you?
reply. It's
And these are from your followers writing long emotional emails.
yes, yeah.
Wow.
People really open up. I'm sure it's the same with you,
yes.
Jennifer. People really open up.
Oh, well, I think that's a great note to conclude our interview, that, you really touch a lot of these followers' lives and thoughts, and provide substantial help and guidance for them, which is just really just so commendable. Well, right, Rod? Like, yeah, we just really admire the work that you do because of so many reasons, but fundamentally just the impact you have on your followers' lives, and I'm sure they appreciate it, and I hope that they appreciate this conversation between the two of you. Yeah, and thank you so much for making the time for this interview, for Rod and I. We really appreciate you both. I have to say, it was, getting ready for this interview today was a little bit like, oh my goodness, I'm talking to style mavens, and I took the advice of just make it really simple, because that way I won't. Thank you both so much, and we wish you the best. We'll be following, obviously, your YouTube careers, and looking forward, hopefully, to see you on Truly.
Thank you.
Well,
It was
thank
an
you
honor
very
to be
much.
here.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, Jennifer, Marie-Anne.
Thank you.
I'm gonna go get myself a new outfit now. Yes.
We'll need your advice. Thank you, guys. Have a great
Thank
rest of the
you.
day.
Have a great weekend.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.